Hi, we're here today and we're talking to best-selling author Mark
Mhm.
Bedding.
Mhm.
And I'm glad
Mhm.
to have him here today. His beautiful book. We just want to talk to Mark and find out what's going on right now with his book out in the world and what people are saying about the book and the new look of his book. And so today is just to talk to Mark personally and to just seeing everything on the internet and hear firsthand from Mark about his book and the progression. So, Mark, welcome here today.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Nice to see you again.
First question of the day, Mark. How does it feel
Yes.
to be a best-selling author?
Wow. I never expected that to be a thing. I put a book out and I hope that people would respond to it. But having that little gold seal on my book now really makes me proud. And it really just kind of like drives home that people are responding to the book the way I hoped. And that's very exciting to me. I really wanted people to connect to the characters and connect to the storyline
Mhm.
and connect to their own childhood because this book kind of goes back and forth from adult life to childhood, and that was what I was really hoping for, and that's been the response. So yeah.
Yes, it's a gorgeous book, and we wanted everyone to respond to it. Uh, it is Mark Redding's book, The Jersey Death Squad: A Journey to Kill Jesse Freeman. I am going to let Mark tell you about the book here, and it's just a gorgeous book, and so proud of Mark, and I know that he's proud of the book. That's the first thing. I know that he's very proud of the book,
Very much,
and
yes.
and people are talking about it. Mark, just tell us about the buzz going on everywhere online, and so, go ahead and tell us about that.
The buzz has been incredible. It hit home because the book is set where I grew up. So a lot of people from the North Jersey area, responded to it immediately because it's from the town that I grew up in. I changed the name from Oakland to Oakburg, but anyway, you'll have to read the book to understand the rest of that. But uh, you know, uh, outside of the area of the region, folks have been reading it in other areas, Florida, the West Coast, whatever, that aren't from this area that know me or have heard about the book through promotion and things like that. And the response has been all the same. The response has been like, oh my God, this is incredible. It's bringing me back to my own childhood, which is what I kind of was hoping that would kind of spur some thought. But the overall vibe, people love the ending. I was speaking to yesterday, whom I know through my business life. He's an associate of mine, and we've become friends. And he's like, Mark, he's like, I finished your book, and I sat there in my chair, and my daughter walked in, and she said, "Why are you crying?"
Really?
And he said I literally had to sit there for a minute because it brought me home to my childhood so deeply, and I connected so much to this book that it really, like, the ending was just beautiful, and it just made me tear up and well up a little bit, and it was just kind of a cute moment between him and his daughter, which was neat. But that's the kind of response I've been getting. Even you'll see if you pick up the book, you'll understand that there's four friends, four boys, and in their adult life they still act like children. Um, and I thought that I was going to alienate women. I was worried about that. I was a little worried that women are going to read this and go, "Oh my God, this is like a male jerk book," And I was like, and women, a lot of women have read it, and they had the same exact response. They're like, yeah, it's a guidebook, but it's written because it's how the story goes. But it made me think about my childhood friends. It made me think about the connections I made when I was young. So I'm grateful that it's not just a genre based book where it's like just guys are going to connect to it. Everybody's been connecting
Go
to
ahead
it.
and
So
give us the synopsis of the book because we're jumped in the middle. We didn't give that. Go ahead now and tell us about the book.
yeah, sure. The synopsis of the book is about four friends that grow up in rural North Jersey and back in the 70s and the 80s. And they become, super close, which is something that's very common for that time frame, even still today. But it was different. We had no social media. We were out all day long, riding our bikes and getting into stuff, getting into adventures, and just connecting and bonding. And that bond became so strong for these boys that they did everything together. And through an experience that they had with a local police officer that kind of befriended them in a way, he ends up getting hurt really bad, debilitated, to the point where he goes into a coma, and ultimately ends up dying. And this whole experience for the boys was so powerful. What they came away with from that was, I don't ever want to put any of my friends or family through anything like this. So in the event that this ever happens to me, I want you guys to, take me out with dignity and not let me lay there and, with machines running, running my breathing or whatever. And so they make this pact. Flash forward 30 years later, the boys are still friends. Maybe they're not, as connected, but the bond is still there. One of the members of that group have an accident, and the boys have to, kind of like call to action to get to their friend, and this is Jesse Freeman, who happens to live in Colorado. The rest of them all live in Jersey. So the journey is really about the boys getting in a car because they can't fly for whatever reasons. You'll read it in the book. They get in a car and they just, hightail it out to Colorado. And that's the journey. That's the book. That's the meat and potatoes of the book. So they have to get to him, and ultimately fulfill the honor the pact, right? Because this kind of meets the terms of the pact. So obviously, I'm not going to tell you what happens, but
No, you have to get the book.
got to get the book. But the adventures that go along, there's some flashbacks to their childhood that really paint the picture of how they got so connected and how they gained such strong loyalty to each other. And I think, just to summarize this whole thing, the book, even though the title sounds a little rough, the tone of the book is really about love and loyalty and friendship, and honoring one's word, that kind of thing.
Yes, it's great. And I just would encourage anyone listening, or have you seen all of Mark's interviews and all of Mark's videos and all of the press and all of this, that if just pick up the book, get the book, because if you're looking for a great gift for readers, if you have readers that love thrillers and they love this kind of, great reads, and I think it's an afternoon read probably. If you have a lot of time, more time than I do, it wasn't just an afternoon. It took me a few reads, but definitely consider this Christmas in July. Get holiday gifts for people. It's a great gift for the holiday stocking stuffers. This would be a fantastic book to get for the readers and the book lovers in your family. Absolutely. Um,
100%.
yeah. And Mark, a lot of the media has been in the Northeast. Did you see that?
I did. It's all over the place. You guys have been doing an amazing job with getting that out. I've done a fair amount of podcasts on my own.
Yes.
Between the exposure I've gotten on social media has been incredible. Believe it or not, I mean, people have come out of the woodwork, and are buying the book, which is great. And then there's been some newswire stuff. My book got on Google Books, which is unbelievable.
That's
So
phenomenal.
what's that?
That was phenomenal.
That was phenomenal. Yeah, I mean, talk about exposure. Yeah, and there's a lot more to come. I've done some radio, I've done a lot of podcast interviews and stuff like that, and my press release has been going out gangbusters. So yeah, really, really exciting. I'm starting to do some book signings now. I'm starting to line that up, and I think the next phase of all this, the word is, people want to see this as a movie.
Yeah.
Sounds exciting to me. Um, but yeah, so people are connecting to it, and it's a story that's not a common story. That's what I really wanted to tell. And that's why I really wanted to write this book so bad, was because, you know, it haunted me for like 10 years, that this story is just so compelling. Like, who couldn't respond to this? And I wanted to tie in that special time of the 70s and 80s, because I do feel like it's a special time to grow. It was a special time to grow up. So I wanted to make sure that that was, you know, captured in there as well. And some of the, you know, some of the adventures that go along with that, with the, you know, kids were, you know, were a little bit of derelicts as well. So, but they were good boys. But, you know, kids can be kids, right?
That's right. And then to append to what you said, Google Books not only picked up your press release, and for those who don't know, Google Books is a fairly new part of the Google features platform, the stuff they offer. It's new. It's still kind of like in testing. It's fairly new. And when I saw they picked up your press release, and then right below that, Google put a sponsored ad. I clipped a screenshot for you.
Yeah, I saw that.
It said sponsored. They actually paid a sponsored ad from Google Books for the book, and the book description that was right on the paid sponsored ad.
Incredible. Incredible.
That was great. And Books A Million did the same thing.
Books A Million did the same thing. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
So and a lot of the Northeast, I think because it's Jersey related, we've had so much from Boston all the way down to Pennsylvania, Jersey, New York, all of that. But yet we've had a lot over on the West Coast as well. So just sharing a lot about how massively spread the news of the book has become, and it keeps every day when I go back and check, it's on more and more sites, and
absolutely.
It's more places. So yeah, and there's a lot to come, and book signings. I'm sure more of those are coming, and more retail opportunities, and more press releases to go. And so, just sharing with the world here what we're doing.
I'm really excited about the book signing that's coming up in August, because, you know, I grew up in Oakland. The book is set in Oakland, even though I name it Oakburg in the book. But I'm doing it, you know, in the town that I grew up in the Oakland Library on August 10th from 2 to 4. You can make it. Please come down. I'm going to be doing a book signing, a Q&A. It's going to. There's been quite a response from a lot of locals, friends of mine, and people outside of the area that are coming. So it's been great. So yeah, I just it's kind of I don't know. It almost feels to me like it just makes perfect sense to do it in the Oakland Library after growing up there for so long, you know. So it's going to be a neat one.
Okay, Mark, thank you for just talking about the buzz and everything, and the marketing part of the book and what's going on, and how great it looks. And I appreciate that so much.
Thank you for having me again. It's great to see you.
Good to see you. Hang tight. We're going to ask some more questions off camera.
Sounds good.